Before I read the Gospel of Matthew, I had a very interesting understanding of Christianity, in the sense that like we had some help at home that was Christian, right? So one of the people that worked for us, she was Christian, and I just like knew like she had to have every Sunday off, and for Easter it was off, and so from what I had been told that like Christians believe that their God came back on that Sunday, on Easter Sunday, and that he died on Good Friday, which also didn't make sense because why is it good then? But that's really all I knew. So I knew that Jesus was born, that he was considered God, that at some point he died and was crucified. Like I knew that from a movie that I'd watched, Ben-Hur, and that he came back. So I didn't actually know that he rose from the dead. Like I didn't know that that man died, was dead for a very long time, and then came back from the dead. I just thought that he came down from heaven or something, as Hindu gods often did. But him rising from the dead, that's a whole different matter. And the reality is, like in the gospel, the authors make it very clear that he died. You know, like they explain his suffering, they explain what's happening to his body. It's like, and it says, and he died. So I knew that he died, and I wasn't expecting like later for him to rise from the dead. But it was clear, like from all of the things that were said in the gospel about the empty tomb, the body not being there, his body, him being there, like eating things, and it's like, okay, so this man is actually alive. And for me, it was like, if this is true, then all of Christianity is true. Like if him rising from the dead is true, then all of it is true. And it's interesting because like even in the gospels themselves, it says that there were many witnesses, you know? I don't remember this as much at this point, but in that time, I remember like looking up, like, were there more witnesses? And there were, you know? And like later in my journey, I like encountered like the Shroud of Turin and all of these things. And it's like, his resurrection is very real. And if that's real, then Christianity stands, you know? But I was shocked is the best way to put it. I was surprised. It gave me hope. More than anything, it gave me hope, because it was like, if this is real, and this is the God that Christians keep talking about, and if this is the God and the only God, then everything will be okay. Like there is hope. Like I will not follow something that's empty, because he can rise from the dead. I think before like encountering the resurrection specifically, but also like before encountering Christianity, I'd been looking, right, in my life, like I'd always thought that like studying aerospace, because I loved it so much, it would make me happy. That like the social activism that I could finally do freely in this country would make me happy. That like friendships, all of these things, that these things would make me happy. And all through high school, when I was upset and despairing, I was like, when I get there, I'll be happy. And I got there. I was at Georgia Tech. I was studying aerospace. I had friends. I was like living the life that I wanted to live, and it was empty. And I was like, I followed this and it's still empty. Everything that I've followed so far, it's empty. So is there anything that will not be empty? And with the resurrection, there was just this hope that maybe if I follow this, it won't be empty. Because this man did rise from the dead. That's a lot of power. He did die. But from what the gospel says, he died for me. That's a lot of love. So maybe it won't be empty. And there was hope. And honestly, it's not. It's not empty, right? Every day is more full. There's no emptiness. And everything else was empty. the resurrection gave me hope in his power and in his love. And that hope told me that it wouldn't be empty.